Tonight here at Sunnyside Stadium, they're honoring a very special student, Gabriel Garcia, a young Sunnyside High Wildcat who lost a courageous battle to cancer back in July. On the field tonight, as they prepare for the coin toss, shortly will be his mother, Crystal Martinez, and she will be escorted by her husband, Willie Martinez, stepfather to Gabriel, and his siblings, Jade, Alex, and Junior. Gabriel would have been in his senior year this year at Sunnyside. He was involved in the boys' wrestling team and in the Video Production Academy, very close to many of the students who are running cameras and working on our CMAC crew tonight. And this is a very special night, as Gabriel was honored just a couple of years ago as homecoming prince during his sophomore year. And tonight, of course, homecoming here at Sunnyside Stadium. Gabriel, a very big football fan, loved the Seattle Seahawks. He was really into trading cards and had a deep and powerful belief, great faith and belief in God. Gabriel's infectious smile and positive personality brought this Sunnyside community together during his year-long battle throughout his junior year. And his life has had a huge impact on the staff, the teachers, the students here at Sunnyside High School, and he will be missed and remembered for many, many years to come for the way he taught everyone to live life to the fullest. I was very fortunate to get to know Gabriel through the Video Production Academy and spent some time with him, and here he was on what was called a home hospital and did not have to come to school, but he did. And he came to school every day, just about every day, sat in on his classes, and he taught his fellow students and his friends a lot. And that was about living life to the fullest. And last January, he was a Make-A-Wish recipient of a trip to the Super Bowl. And just had an amazingly great time down there. Wanted badly to meet Josh Allen from Fireball, the Buffalo Bills quarterback, who was down there on some promotional appearances, and said he came real close, and then they pulled Josh Allen away just as Allen was about to get to him. But he certainly had an amazing time and a memorable experience, and he was a memorable young man. And tonight they are remembering him. They are dedicating tonight's homecoming game to Gabriel Garcia, and Gabriel's mother, who we see down on the near sideline in front of the Sunnyside High bench, wearing the number 54, and she will do the coin toss tonight as they very shortly head out on the field. And we are just about to have our national anthem. Everybody is pausing as they are playing the tribute video here in the stadium for Gabriel. That'll give us a quick shot, Fred, to kind of scoot around here and introduce ourselves, this being our first game.
Oh, got to get in there. There we go.
Got to remember how to do it here, but this is our first game back. Great to be with you here on CMAC. I'm Dan Taylor with the coach, Fred Clark. And tonight here at Sunnyside High School Stadium, it is the host Sunnyside Wildcats and the visitors, the Madera South High Stallions. And the last time these two teams played here, it was a wild one. We almost had a Donnybrook at the end of the game. A little bit high scoring and some bruised feelings about that high scoring on the part of Sunnyside by the Madera South coaching staff. But tonight will be a very different night, as we should see a bit of offense tonight, and defense, well, that remains to be seen. These two teams, Fred, each 1-3.
Yeah, both teams are 1-3 coming in, but caliber of opponents, Sunnyside has lost to three very good football teams, and the Stallions, their schedule's a little bit weaker, and they have their work cut out for them tonight. They're going to try and pound the ball on the ground, eat the clock, and hopefully they can get some turnovers and maybe keep this game close. The Wildcats are coming off 3 touchdown to defeat to McLean, and they're going on 8 seasons that they're defending NYL champions, and now they have to try and win out and hope that they can maybe get some help along the way to have any chance of being co-champions or tri-champions at this point.
So you're looking at the coin toss, and there on the far left, you see Gabriel Garcia's mother as she is out on the field for our coin toss. And looking to see what sort of information we get from the officials here. Sunnyside players in the dark blue uniforms. Madera South in the white tonight. Toss is in the air. Coin is now on the ground. And the Madera South Stallions have won the toss, and they will defer until the second half. So Madera South has elected to receive right off the bat. Initially, the one official put his arms out as if he was indicating they were going to defer. My mistake. So Madera South wins the toss, and they will choose to take possession right away as they're rising all around Sunnyside Stadium for our national anthem. So homecoming night tonight here at Sunnyside Stadium. Glad you're with us here on CMAC, our first of 4 high school football telecasts this season. And Fred, when we see Madera South come out on offense after, well, assuming they come out on offense, they have had their troubles on special teams this year.
Yeah, they're really struggling. I'm not going to make excuses because Coach Johnson abhors excuse making. But Madera South, they really have numbers issues right now. The Coyotes and now Torres High School up there seems to be getting the cream of the crop. And the Stallions only have 29 young men in uniform tonight. They're dinged up. They have a lot of guys going both ways. And don't look for them to throw the ball very much. Their quarterback went down in the season opener against DeRossi, and they have been struggling on offense. But they are electing to take the ball first. And Dan, you might recall when you and I were much younger men, most all of the time, if you won the coin toss, you would receive. And then nowadays, it's a little bit different. Usually teams elect to defer to the second half. So I'm refreshed to see the Coyotes get the ball first.
A little tough when you say when we were much younger, because we were younger yesterday. Much younger could have just been Monday.
That is a great point, and as old men everywhere can say this, today's as good as it gets.
So Madera South in the white, they will go from your right to left here in the first quarter. Sunnyside of the dark uniforms about to kick off from their 40-yard line.
And it is a still 85 degrees right now at kickoff. The flag is hanging limp from the pole, and it's steamy up in this press box.
Not half as steamy as it was on the field the last time these two teams played.
Oh, yeah.
But it's a whole different set of circumstances now. Caballero and Hamilton, the two deep men for Madera South. Kick is going to be a little bit short, and that will be Caballero coming up. He'll field it on the bounds at the 20-yard line. Looks for a block. He's got a hole. Big hole, too. Takes him about to the 39-yard line. Let's see if he gets a good spot to the 40 as Madera South goes on offense.
Caballero was real patient on that. He waited for a couple of blocks to set up and got good yardage on that.
They will indeed spot the ball with a nose at the 40-yard line of the Madera South Stallions. Iro Parra, their quarterback, he wears number 1. Good arm. He can throw the football. but the throwing game is not the most productive part of their offensive attack. And already looks as though we have
young man better get in and get in position real quick. We're running low on time. This is not how they want to start. He's got about 5 seconds to get the ball in play.
Quarterback's going to keep it. He's got plenty of running room, and he trots out of bounds at about the 48-yard line. So nice pickup of about 7-8 yards right off the bat by Jairo Parra.
And the Stallions run a variation of a wing tee. They try and do a little bit of motion, a little bit of misdirection, some counters. And if they can continue doing this, just not hurt themselves with penalties and turnovers, maybe they can make a game out of this.
They give him 7 on that run. Brings up a 2nd and 3. They give it to the man in motion, and he's going to get the first down easily and get run out at about the Sunnyside 44. So right out of the gate, just as you said in the pregame comments, Fred, Madera South able to pick up some healthy yardage running the football.
This is what they need to do. They need to keep the ball on the ground, take time off the clock, don't rush it too much, don't go right in. Make sure you don't go 15 seconds between plays. Stretch that out a little bit. They're doing a good job so far after 3 plays.
Caballero, the man in motion, in the slot position. Parra's going to throw the football. He's got a good arm. He's got a receiver wide open, and the penalty flags fly. That is a pass interference if we've ever seen one.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he was camped waiting for the pass. He just kind of got blown out.
But unfortunately, the penalty that is going to be called is on the offense.
I don't know how.
Ineligible downfield on the offense. Pass interference on the defense. Those penalties offset. Replay, first down.
Well, you heard the call.
That makes sense to me. I didn't see the ineligible receiver, but it does happen. They can't get down past 5 yards.
And it only counts when the guys in the striped shirts see their ineligible receiver.
Yep. That's one of those plays that could be called a great deal more than it is.
1st and 10 from the Madera South 47-yard line. Give goes to Caballero, and he's not going to get much room at all.
When that play set up initially, I thought if he would have cut a little bit to the left, he had a little bit of a gap he could have went in. But it's real easy to say that from up here.
Correction, that was Efren Garcia, the back who took the handoff.
The Stallions have been showing a lot of different formations early in the game. And we see yet another one now.
Give goes to Caballero. He's got a lead blocker. Can he get him some room? He's got a little bit of room, and he's going to get across and down to about the 43-yard line of the Sunnyside High Wildcats.
So far, I like the patience. And the line's done a pretty good job with their blocking so far.
Great enthusiasm here at Sunnyside Stadium tonight on this homecoming night.
Yeah, the north side of the stadium is pretty full here. Not so much over on the south side of the stadium, but hopefully the cameras will pan over here a little bit more often.
First big play of the night for Madera South, a 3rd and 6. Give goes
Ball's
to
out.
Garcia. And it almost looked as though that was a horse collar tackle.
Yeah, I thought the same. The ball's out. Yep, Sunnyside is recovered.
Yeah, there you see it was punched out. Sunnyside defensive lineman with the right hand. Probably would have called it a right hook in a boxing ring, and here it's called a fumble as he was able to punch the ball loose from Efrain Garcia.
Well, the Stallions did accomplish one of their goals. They held the ball for a little over 3 minutes. The other goal to score was not achieved, and what's been a problem with them all season, turnovers.
So Sunnyside with the ball on offense and a little sidearm toss into traffic. And Madera South is coming up saying they've got the interception. But what are the officials saying?
Yeah, they call it an interception.
So one play later, Madera South has the football right back, and it's on the 50-yard line.
And he just took it away from his man here. Let's see this again, perhaps.
So Jairo Parra brings the offense right back out on the field for Madera South after the turnover. As they hurry up to the offensive line, be interesting to see if during the night they take advantage. That quick toss out, wings it over the head of his receiver on the far sideline, incomplete.
Really got away from him. He had his man open, maybe a 5 or 6 yard gain, but really floated on him.
Yeah, Michael Cuevas had run a little hook over there to the sideline. Parra with a very strong arm, maybe a little too strong on that throw, winged it over him. On those out passes, though, the key on those passes is for the quarterback to get that ball out there fast. Defenders can close a lot easier on those out passes, so the quarterback has to get it there in a hurry.
Yeah.
Give is not going to pick up much yardage at all, if anything. Looks like they're right back at the original line of scrimmage.
I'd like to see Parra pull it down and use his legs a little bit more too. He's got some strength to him, some leverage. You usually don't see a quarterback that also plays defensive end.
6'2", 205. Runs very well. We saw him with the keeper early in the game in the very first, maybe the first offensive play by the Stallions, and he picked up a number of yards. Rolls right. Looks like he's going to keep it, and he is. And he may have a first down. Very impressive.
That took a kind of a wide turn. I think he was hoping somebody might get open, but he turned the jets on. He's got some good speed there. Yes.
You hooked up on that headset to Matt Johnson because it seemed like he heard what you were prodding him for, and it worked out very well. So 1st and 10 for the Madera South Stallions as they move the football down to the Sunnyside 40-yard line.
Well, Matt could do worse as a play, having a play caller too. So, I'll throw myself give myself some congrats there.
Little toss sweep is not going to pick up anything at all.
I thought initially that was another good play. I thought we were going to have some positive yards on that. Sunnyside had something to do with it.
6:52 remaining here in the first quarter. No score, but Madera South with the football. They had been able earlier to drive about to midfield before losing the ball on a fumble. And then on Sunnyside's very first offensive play, they gave it right back, the interception. Keeper by Parra, and he is just going to use that strength and pick up maybe 4.
Got back to the original line of scrimmage.
Got an injury on the field, an injured Madera South player. Team trainers tending to him very quickly, and that'll enable the coaching staff for Sunnyside High to bring their defense over and have a conversation. Clock stopped at 6:15 here in the first quarter. It's going to bring up a 3rd and 10 play, a very crucial play. As the Sunnyside trainers are tending to the injured player down on the field, and the Stallions head coach Matt Johnson consoling the young man. Fred, they've had a little bit of injury problems this year.
Yeah, they've had the bug, and this is always an issue when you suit up less than 30 guys on your team and you have a lot of guys going both ways, you're going to have injuries here. Until the temperatures get down in the 70s, you're going to have cramping issues, and just the attrition of playing both ways there towards the middle of the third quarter is really when these things, bad things start happening. You've got the binocs on there. What does it look like to you?
Well, it's clear they're working on his left knee. And I don't want to speculate whether it's the knee or whether they're working on the upper calf muscles. He is going to limp off the field.
Did we get a number on that? 60.
Javier Ornales, number 65, big offensive lineman.
Yeah, 5'8", 230-pound senior.
So a very important play here for the Madera South Stallions. Coaching staff giving the play across the way to Parra, who runs it on in. Hamilton, the lone back behind Parra. Parra is going to roll to the near side. Interesting sidearm type of a toss, but he's going to wind up, Hamilton, the receiver on the play, and he's going to wind up about 5 yards shy of the first down.
Yeah, that's looks a little bit unusual. You have kind of a sidearm throw against the grain, too.
So 4th and 4. And the offense is still on the field, and Parra has consulted with the coaches over on the sideline, and he's going to hustle back out, relay a play to his teammates, and they're going to go for it here on 4th and 4. Parra under a big rush, has to get rid of it, and his receivers were not prepared to have a ball coming at him, and it's going to go over on down. So Sunnyside will gain possession at their own 34-yard line.
That was a good defensive move by the Wildcats, just bringing the heat and making Parra get rid of the ball. He had no running lanes whatsoever, but the bright side here for Madera South, there's less than 5 minutes left in the quarter. They're still even. The Wildcats have held the ball for a total of 8 seconds so far this half, or this quarter.
Quarterback keeper, he's up over the 40, now to the 45, near midfield before he runs out of bounds. Jonathan Diaz playing quarterback this year, the senior getting his opportunity to take the snap after, 4 seasons of Tanner Wilson as the quarterback here.
And, one of the criticisms of that, when you have a good team and you're putting a lot of points up, I'll elaborate on this after this play.
1st and 10 from the Madera South 47-yard line. Give goes to the back, Clark. And Davis, I should say, Bob Davis. And he is able to thunder all the way down to the 32-yard line, 33-yard line.
And the Wildcats' offensive line just blew the Stallions back on that one. Timeout here.
So we're going to get a timeout taken by Madera South. Coaching staff wants to talk over their plans on defense and what they have seen thus far out of Sunnyside.
And there's been 30 yards in those just last 2 running plays. You got to try and settle things down and maybe get a few men closer up to the line. What I was going to say about Sunnyside, Tanner Wilson had just an amazing career here, put up all kinds of numbers. But in a lot of those games where they had things well under control, they probably should have been working on a successor and just get them a little bit more playing time. And I'm not throwing them under the bus. A lot of coaching staffs do that, and I think it's to the long-term detriment of your program. And that editorial is now over.
1st and 10, ball now at the Madera South 33-yard line. Dominguez Davis behind him in the backfield. And we had the Madera South defensive front jump. Cadence pulling them off.
One of the disadvantages that the Stallions have when you look at the size of their defensive backfield, you cannot, you just can't afford to go single coverage on them. And that, yeah, it's a numbers game here.
High snap, quarterback pulls it down, but he is not going to be able to turn this into positive yardage at all, as he is pulled down at about the line of scrimmage.
He got a couple of yards out. He did a decent job pulling the ball down and not getting too much negative yardage on that.
Second down and 5 from the Madera South 28-yard line. No score here from Sunnyside Stadium. 3 minutes and 20 seconds left here in the first quarter. Glad you've joined us here on CMAC. Bob Davis now wrestled down by 3 tacklers, but he dragged them for another 5 yards.
Yeah, he was initially hit well short of the first down, and he just kept his legs churning and got those extra 4 yards on his own.
So 1st and 10 now. Ball at the 20. Quick toss. And he's got a wide open receiver with a lot of room in front of him, and he's going to get down inside the 5-yard line. Penalty flag now comes out. Interesting to see what this call might be.
Holding, offense, 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Replay, first down.
Well, there's your answer, a holding call. So we do first. Going for the end zone. Receiver wide open at the 2 and on across the goal line he goes. Touchdown Sunnyside. Josiah Polito.
I think we're going to have an unsportsmanlike celebration penalty here in the end zone. There was some extracurricular activity. I don't know which team was responsible.
Well, one of the officials heading across the field to talk to Madera South coach Matt Johnson, probably simply letting him know the number of the offending players. So
I think they'll have the unsportsmanlike penalty walked on the kickoff here. And as their usual, the Wildcats will be going for 2.
Quarterback fakes the pass, now tosses into the end zone.
Yeah, he faked the pass, faked the run, pass. That was something we don't see a heck of a lot of.
Not at all, but a very effective play to Polito, who caps off the touchdown catch with the 2-point conversion catch. And with 2:20 remaining here in the first quarter from Sunnyside Stadium, the host Wildcats jump on top by an 8-0 score over Madera South.
They'll be kicking off from the 25 now. Now Sunnyside's one of these teams that they would always go with not always, they would usually go with those pooch kicks that I do not care for. And with the new coaching staff here, I'm interested to see how this is going to be. They kept the tradition alive of going for 2 after the first touchdown.
And is that much to the delight of the Sunnyside High soccer coaches, who do not lose a player to the football team?
Yeah, there's that too.
So the return men move up to the 26-yard line as the Wildcats are going to kick it off.
Kicking it deep.
Fielded at the 24. Out to the 40. To near midfield, brought down at about the Madera South 49-yard line. So the Stallions back on offense, and they have eaten up a lot of time with their first couple of drives in this game.
Their first two possessions, they were in Sunnyside territory, and they're starting this one from the 45. So at this stage, being down by one score, I think it's the most that they could hope for under this situation.
Fred, we didn't get around to who's calling things tonight after this play. Tell us who are in the striped uniforms out there.
I can do that.
Barra's going to throw. Oh, he's got a man complete pass down to the 30-yard line, out of bounds at about the 27-yard line. Very interesting play. Had two receivers in the area, kind of in a zone read type thing, and Barra hit him. He has a very compact delivery and threw an absolute strike for a big, big gain.
That was a real nice play. It looked like he was going to be in some trouble. He kept his eye on the receivers. Say, man, he flicked that quick. One of the defenders fell down, may be victim of a fake.
He's going to keep it himself, and he's going to pick up maybe another 5 yards, possibly more.
And I'd like to see him do that a lot more. Keep the ball in his hands. He can make some things happen. Okay, Dan, the referee tonight is Pat Atkins. The umpire is Rennell Matthews. Head linesman is Carl Workentine. Line judge, Ryan McFarland. The back judge, Eric Yepez. I didn't think I'd have time to get it between plays.
I knew you would. Second out and 5 for the Stallions, who are on the march. Their most impressive drive thus far of the night. Give goes to the fullback, and he is down in first down territory. Let's see how the officials mark it. But it does look as though he's got a first down. Indeed, he does. So just inside the 20-yard line at about the Sunnyside 19. No, Fred, I'm not going to say 19 and a half.
I knew you wouldn't.
I like keeping your blood pressure at a near normal range. Barra's going to keep it himself, and he's going to be bottled up at the line of scrimmage. No, he is a strong runner. He's going to keep those legs churning and pick up a couple of yards.
It wasn't a big gain, but it was still positive yardage. And that anything like this, just keep doing this. Show them a few different looks.
You know, I see Parra go off to get the next play from the coaches on the sideline. Takes me back to a number of years ago, probably early 70s, when San Diego State, Don Coryell was the coach down there. It was before he had left to go into pro football, and he alternated quarterbacks on every play. He had a quarterback, Jesse Freitas, and I think Donkers was the name of the other quarterback. And every play, one would come in, do the play, go out. The other guy would come in off the sidelines, and they alternated every single play all throughout the season. Well, that wraps up the first quarter of play here from Sunnyside Stadium. No score, but the Madera South Stallions are on the march.
Well, seeing we don't have a commercial break, you led in with that. Don Coryell, what a football innovator. Very few people know Don Coryell was head coach at Whittier College. I think he had 2 undefeated seasons at Whittier College. George Allen was also a previous coach at Whittier College. And they had the team name that would strike fear into any opposition. They were the Whittier Poets. And isn't that terrifying on the gridiron? Don Coryell.
But that's not the reason he left.
No. There were other opportunities awaiting him. Don Meredith had the best quote about Don Coryell. Said, it looks like this man always has a headache. he always looked pained on the sidelines. Oh, what an innovator. Eric Coryell, I love that.
Second and 10 from the 19-yard line. Parra going to keep. He's got a seam. Cuts up inside the 10. Brought down at about the 10. And one of the interesting things I found about Don Coryell is that at Whittier, he was a running coach.
Yes.
And in high school and all throughout his career to that point, he had been a running coach. And when he got the job at San Diego State, he worried how he was going to recruit players. But UCLA and USC based their games on the run. They really didn't throw the football a whole lot. And that's when Coryell thought, if I'm going to get really good players and be able to win, it's going to be by throwing the football, and I'm going to be able to get quarterbacks because they're going to look at USC and UCLA and realize they don't throw the football much. And he was right.
And did he have a bunch of success with them?
Parra's going to keep it again inside the 10, down to about the 8-yard line. A very, very strong runner. That'll bring up 2nd and 5, and the ball is spotted at the 5.
I like the way the Stallions line, at the end of each huddle, and they've done this so far. Will be interesting to see if they do this later in the game, is they just charge out. They're charging out like, hey, we're ready.
Parra's going to throw it. Wings it just over the head of his receiver. Very catchable ball from our angle, unlike a couple of throws that have whistled quite high.
Yeah, it looked like his receiver was just like a split-second thought behind that.
So it's now 3rd and 5. Big play now for the Stallions, who have been able to drive down to the 5-yard line. Their best offensive effort of the night.
We're going to have another timeout here by the Wild. Nope, it is by the Stallions. Coach Johnson and the staff want to talk this over. They have 2 plays to get 5 yards.
Well, thus far, Parra has been very successful running the football. You would imagine that they will probably attempt to continue to go with him, but I don't know Matt's playbook that well and whether he is a guy that might have something fun up his sleeve that could catch a defense off guard at this point.
I would like to see a quarterback draw.
What do you want him to draw?
A touchdown. Maybe a quick fake, step back, and might be able to weave his way in. We'll see if it happens. That would get tiring on a quarterback when you have a long drive going, jogging 40 yards to talk to the coach. I mean, I'd be totally gassed by now.
Big 3rd down and 5 play from the 5-yard line. Parra wheels, and he has got 2 defenders in the backfield that are going to take this ball all the way back to the 13.
That was certainly not worthy of the timeout.
A disastrous play for the Stallions. And they now go from 3rd and goal from the 5. The ball is going to be spotted. It's laying at the 8-yard line.
Yeah, they must have went on progress on that one.
Pressure has always come from the right side. Parra has 2 men open in the end zone.
And he came down with it.
He did come down with it. Touchdown, Madera South. Excellent throw. He threaded the needle between 2 defenders on that. And on the receiving end, Michael Cuevas pulls it in. A terrific throw.
Yeah, we're just looking at each other for a second like, what actually happened?
I think the defender had that in his hands and was not able to pull it in.
We'll find out now.
And it came out of the defender's hands and into the hands of Michael Cuevas for the touchdown. Stallions are going to go for the single extra point. And they get it, so it's an 8-7 game.
And I still like that at this stage of the game. Put the points on the board if you've got confidence in your kicker to get that 1 point. They scoreboard operator has this as a field goal right now. They'll get that adjusted in time. Stallion receiver, he showed some concentration and holding on to that and looking the ball in.
No, it was very impressive. No, I look back at this and I see only a field goal up there. You're not telling me that the pass was incomplete, are you? And it was a field goal, because I thought I saw a touchdown and an extra point.
Well, it was fourth down. The play was a fourth down play.
Right.
So, well, when we have a break in the action, if we haven't, oh, no, not a pooch kick. Come on now.
Brought out across the 40 to about the 41-yard line.
I'll be right back.
So the Wildcats coming back out on offense now. The ball set at the 40-yard line after the pooch kick and the short return. And the scoreboard has now changed.
Yeah, the scorekeeper didn't see the touchdown. He just thought it was a field goal.
I'm not saying a word.
I think I know why. Oh.
Second down and 9. Flushed from the pocket, running, has the first down and a lot more, as he is now into Madera South territory, brought down at about the 43-yard line.
Did a good job pulling the ball down. Had with a little bit more seasoning. I like this young man.
Jonathan Diaz.
5'9", 175 pounds.
The senior, who has been on the bench behind Tanner Wilson the last couple of years, getting his opportunity this year. Run play. Slip the first arm tackle just beyond the line of scrimmage. Picks up a couple more.
Good fight back on the Stallions defense here. Sunnyside's got a good-sized offensive line, and they could force the issue there. The Stallions have really got to be tough on this. Use the angles.
2nd and 4. Give goes to the back.
Be a couple of yards shy of the first down.
Alvin Batiste.
As at Sunnyside's game where they were defeated by McLean last week, and McLean defeated them pretty much with big plays. Sunnyside was able to move the ball pretty well on them. 3rd and 2. Toss complete to Tejeda. And he is brought down at about the 25-yard line. So first down for the Wildcats. Sunnyside high on the march. The 1st and 10. Ball at the 24-yard line. Diaz looks as though he may be changing the play call at the line of scrimmage. Batiste moves a couple of yards behind him now in the backfield. Takes the handoff. He's got a big hole and had a path to the end zone, but it was quickly roadblocked at about the 11. And he seemed to slip just a little bit when he made his cut.
And we are on artificial turf here in Sunnyside Stadium.
This Wildcat offensive line, they're really opening up some holes.
They are doing a very good job up there. Moria, the receiver in motion. Oh, wide open into the end zone on the run, and he's eased up at the line of scrimmage. Did he get across? He did. It almost looked as though he was pushed out of bounds just shy. But that's Bob Davis who gets in for the touchdown. And Jonathan Diaz is having a conversation with him down there. Perhaps telling him to get across the goal line before he starts his celebration.
Yeah. Just a little over 2 minutes on that drive for the Wildcats. They went right down the field.
So the Wildcats with the touchdown. They're up 14-7. Going to go for their usual 2. Up under center is Diaz. Gives it to the deep back who bounces off one tackler and then manages to find his way in. That's Bob Davis.
Yeah, they had him stacked up for a minute, and he was able to just squeeze around it. Yeah, the Wildcats made that one look easy.
Indeed they did, as they're now on top 16-7 with a touchdown run, followed by the 2-point conversion.
We'll see if the Stallions can answer. They had a really good drive that resulted in that last touchdown. They have been able to move the ball. Need to keep it in Parra's hands. Okay, they still have to get another man on the field here. The Stallions have got 10 guys on the field.
And now they're up to their full 11. A couple of players were near the sideline grabbing a drink.
Yeah, that just drives coaches mad when you see that.
Kick is short, fielded at the 25. Picking his way up, and he's still on his feet. And is going to be pushed back down at about the 33-yard line, but I think the progress they're going to give him is going to be much, much farther. Indeed, there looks like they're going to set it up at about the 37-yard line where the Stallions will start this possession. Jairo Parra, the quarterback for the Madera South Stallions. Very impressive thus far on the night, both running and tossing that touchdown pass. Officials blowing the whistle to blow the play dead before anything can get going.
Like we had a little bit of movement there on the Stallions side of the ball. Call it delay a game? No? Okay, Dan, I was wrong with delay a game. I was wrong with movement. It was offside on Sunnyside.
So that moves the ball up across the 40-yard line. And it'll make it a 1st and 5 for the Stallions. Out of the pistol. Receiver in motion, and flags fly once again. And the call is again on Sunnyside. So they must be lining up offside.
Now, Dan, can you identify the difference between a neutral zone infraction, encroachment, and offside?
I'm going to leave that to you.
I read it, and I didn't really understand it too much.
Those are 4-syllable words. That's out of my league.
Usually two's the best I can do. But that's for the company I keep. Yeah, when you have two in a row like that, another one that grinds the coach's teeth.
Parra gives it to the back who never had it. And indeed, Parra, the back didn't have it because I think Parra did.
Yeah, Parra, I think initially, he pulled it out.
Because you saw the back turn and look down like he had dropped the football.
Yeah.
But it was the quarterback, Parra, who had pulled it out. You're right, Fred.
Yeah, those things can really be disastrous.
But you wonder sometimes on plays like that, the quarterback sees if he keeps it, he's got a big hole.
Mm-hmm.
And you wonder sometimes on reverses, things of that nature, if the intended player down the far sideline, and that is a first down run, and we've got an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty.
Yeah, he's
very likely on the far sideline at about the 44-yard line.
He was slammed down when he was tackled. He was slammed, and that's going to cost Sunnyside 15.
But you wonder sometimes when a player's, for instance, in motion and he has the option to receive the football.
Roughness on the defense. That's a 15-yard penalty added to the end of the run. First down.
Third Sunnyside penalty on this drive. Very costly penalties. This, the most costly, a 15-yarder, is going to take the football all the way down to the 30-yard line. But you wonder sometimes if players, should there be communication? If a guy's about to take a reverse, but he sees that the defense has got the play snuffed out, should there be some way to communicate that the quarterback, don't give it to me or keep it yourself?
Generally you'll have that.
Parra has overthrown his receiver, lobbed it up there, but the receiver a little bit slow and couldn't get to the spot in time.
Really fortunate that wasn't picked off.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, Dan, you see this happen in a lot of your triple option offenses. The service academies all run this. Clovis East used to run that double wing, and the quarterback's got to make that decision real quick. Okay, do I head it off on the dive? Do I pull it back? And those are the things. It's timing, total timing. And the military academies, or rather Army and Air Force, are successful with this. And there is communication there because it's got to be done at the split second.
Another penalty, a 10-yard penalty, is going to move the football down to the 30-yard line. So a 1st and 10 from the 30 for Madera South. That is the 4th penalty on this drive. And the second of the last 3 plays that has handed 25 yards worth of yardage to the Madera South Stallions.
And then the 2 offside penalties earlier. This really got to concern the Sunnyside coaching staff.
Give goes to the back, straight off left tackle. Now the Wildcats running with the football as though they came up with it.
Ball was blown dead.
Exactly.
Now, and we don't have any replays on high school, so even if your knee wasn't down, the play's dead. See this again.
Here's another look at it.
That was. I don't think he was down, but it doesn't matter. I would have thrown the red hanky on that one.
Parra being chased, throws in and out of the hands of his receiver. That's the type of play that Madera South cannot afford. Cameron Hamilton had that ball hit him in the breadbasket.
Yep.
Brings up 3rd and 4. Ball at the 14-yard line for the Madera South Stallions. They trail 16-7. 3:32 until halftime. Parra keeps it. Run out of bounds.
I think he's maybe a yard short. It could be close, so I didn't see where he went out.
I think you're right, Fred. I think they're going to mark him just a yard shy. So a big 4th down play. And do you run a quarterback draw? This is where we have seen Sunnyside bring pressure from the right side.
Exactly.
So do you run a left tackle, somewhat of a draw play off toward left tackle?
I would definitely do it. And they're coming.
Parra rolling right, looking for a receiver.
Keep a hold of it.
And he has got the first down.
Well, not only does that give the Stallions 4 tries to go 9 yards, it keeps the clock moving. As the Wildcats get the ball to start the second half, and you don't want to give them the ball back with much time left. That last drive was quick scoring offense, even though most of it was on the ground.
2:17, and the clock is stopped. We've got a timeout taken by Sunnyside. So it's a 1st and goal from the 9-yard line from Madera South. Sunnyside wanting a timeout to talk it over with the defense.
Correction, Madera South took that. That was their last timeout.
You're right, it was Madera South.
And I would have let the clock run down about another 15 seconds before I would have taken it. Maybe Coach Johnson saw something that he really didn't like that had to be addressed immediately. I didn't see it. Dan, I'm going to take this time to shamelessly promote Fresno City College football. Tomorrow they're playing the top team in the state, San Mateo, at Ratcliffe Stadium at 5 o'clock. The game will be televised on CMAC, or if you want to listen to it on the radio, the Mighty 940 has all Ram home and away games with Scott Bemis and our friend Shannon Pulliam, the head coach of Minarets, who do a great job.
Now, well, you'd have a lot of fun doing the game here on CMAC, and definitely tune in CMAC tomorrow for that one. Fresno City College football. Give goes to the back. Looks for a block, gets it, tries to get around the end, and looks as though he is bulldogged out at about the 2.
Yeah, the Wildcats are having a lot of trouble pursuing because he really went wide, and they got to tighten that up on defense because that should have been stopped for a much shorter gain than that. But one thing that the Wildcats are doing right now, they're really keying on Parra, and for good reason, because he's shown he's quite a weapon tonight.
Parra calling the signals there in the huddle. Ball at the 2-yard line, a minute 37 to go in the first half.
He's kept it himself, wasn't much error.
Parra heads over to the sideline, talk to the coaching staff.
Yeah, the coaching staff and the whole team is right at the edge there as far as they can go on the sidelines, and I think they're somewhat surprised that this game is still as close as it is.
16-7 Sunnyside, a minute 2 remaining in the first half, and a timeout is taken by Sunnyside. This time it is by Sunnyside.
Yeah, the Stallions are out of timeouts, and right over the scoreboard we have a beautiful, I'm going to do an Alice in Wonderland take. We have a Cheshire Cat moon over there.
It is a beautiful night here in Fresno. We're in southeast Fresno at Sunnyside High School. The temperature is cooled, but the action on the field has warmed up considerably. Sunnyside on top 16-7 with a minute remaining in the first half. 2nd and goal, ball at the 2-yard line. And the Madera South Stallions keen to try and punch this one over and go to the locker room at halftime, trailing by 2, possibly 1. The Stallions now huddling up just to the left of your shot. There you see them. Jairo Parra, their quarterback. Where's number 1? And he is number 1 in this offense. Makes it happen. In motion, Caballero. Parra, a toss, it's on the ground. Ball's fumbled. Who has it? It looks as though the back, Hamilton, may have managed to get it back. Hard to tell. Sunnyside comes out with it, waiting on the officials. Sunnyside's football. A blown opportunity, a big opportunity. That toss sweep dropped, and it's the second time that they have attempted a toss sweep, and it has really not worked well for Madera South. So with 51 seconds remaining in the half, Sunnyside will take over the football at about the 4-yard line, or I'm sorry, about the 8-yard line.
Yeah, the soccer lines make it a little confusing for us. The Stallions have got to be real careful here not to give up big plays.
Ball's on the ground, but it's successfully run out to about the 13, 14-yard line.
He didn't make the first down, though. The clock keeps moving.
Batiste We're inside of 37 seconds. 2nd and 2 for the Wildcats.
Back move just a moment before. It's going to cost the Wildcats 5.
So a great opportunity, tremendous drive, a lot of penalties, giving great opportunities for Madera South on that drive. And they were unable to punch it across what would have been a tremendous opportunity to pull within 2 of the Wildcats going into the halftime locker room. And the toss sweep did not work, fumbled by the back.
A big momentum boost there.
On the ground, all the way out to the 27, 28-yard line.
Wildcats take a timeout.
17 seconds remaining in the half. 16-7 Sunnyside on top of Madera South, our score. Glad you're with us here on CMAC. First of 4 high school football telecasts over the next 4 weeks. We are at McLean High for their homecoming next week. And the Highlanders look like they're the team to beat this year in the conference. Roosevelt High may be the team that gives them the strongest challenge.
Yeah, the Highlanders, Coach Pancotti has got things moving over there. They only are dressing 29 guys, but their JV team, they have numbers that they haven't had in 20 years. And the JV team hasn't lost yet either. And this is a real good sign because McLean, they had never beaten Sunnyside until last week. That was their first victory over the Wildcats since the Wildcats have come into existence.
It has been a process, and Ms. Pancotti has done a tremendous job at McLean, getting buy-in from those young men over there over the years and getting them in the weight room in the summertime and just doing it. Oh, deep ball, open receiver, hauls it in, 30-yard line, and is brought down with a big first down with 20 seconds to go.
And how could you not have somebody over the top in a situation like this? We have another timeout. And I think the Wildcats, that was their last timeout.
This would be a huge swing should Sunnyside be able to put this in the end zone before the half. As Madera South was knocking at the door from the 2-yard line at one point after that long drive, only to fumble the football away. And now the deep ball has put Sunnyside High at the 34-yard line.
And the Wildcats, on their last drive, they were just eating yards up. They were getting 8, 12, 14 yards every time they touch a ball. And then this big pass play, the Stallions have got to be real careful.
Correction, put it down to the 29-yard line. 1st and 10.
They got 3 wide right. They're definitely looking for the end zone.
Jonathan Diaz, the quarterback. Ortega in motion to the near side. And on the hand clap,
5 yards closer.
Madera South jumps. Sunnyside band lining up back of the east end zone here at Sunnyside Stadium. It's homecoming. A lot of pageantry in store. Going for the deep ball in the end zone. Wide open receiver.
Oh, he drops
the football. Wide open in the end zone, and he dropped the football. Michael Johnson.
And he will think about that pretty much for the rest of his life.
Big sigh of relief breathed from the Madera South sideline. 13 seconds left on the clock.
Yeah, you just cannot get that open. I've see it playing a little bit deep now. the Stallions' defensive captain's kind of beside himself here.
They're going to go to the air again.
He may run it.
Indeed, he is going to pull it down and run. And he's got plenty of room, and he's got a touchdown.
As time expires.
Just as time expires, Jonathan Diaz takes it in for the score. The Wildcats will get the 2-point conversion attempt off before they head to the locker room. So the touchdown makes it 22-7.
And a 92-yard drive in less than a minute.
Diaz looking for an open man. Finally finds him in the back of the end zone. It's good. And the Wildcats are going to go to the locker room up 24-7, where it very well could have been a one-point game. Not for the turnover.
Yeah, this is just an absolute momentum killer for the Stallions, because they, for the most part, had outplayed Sunnyside for the first half, dominated the time of possession, and they go into the locker room down 17. That's got to be a real dreary locker room as the players are trudging in there now.
So it's halftime here from Sunnyside Stadium. An exciting first half it was, Fred. 24-7 our score. Not indicative of how close and dramatic it really was. That final drive was, There
we go.
Changed the complexion of this game, but it very well could have just been a one-possession game at the half.
Yeah, the Stallions had a first down at the 8-yard line and give the ball up, and it looked like we were going to have a real good game going into halftime. And now the Stallions have got to regroup, and they have to kick off to start the second half. Maybe they can get it together. Otherwise, we could be in for a long second half.
But thus far, we've seen a surprising Madera South team play a very competitive football. Their quarterback, Haro Parra, has been outstanding running the football. Had a nice touchdown toss early, so we'll see what Matt Johnson and his coaching staff can do in the locker room at halftime. Should be an interesting second half. All sorts of pageantry and the band about to take place out here on the field and on the running track here. But we're going to take a break here and be back with you for the second half action in a few minutes here on CMAC. Thanks for joining us for high school football here on CMAC.
Support for this program is provided in part by Fresno Unified School District and Me and Ed Sunnyside.
Fresno is building newer, safer bike lanes across the city. These protected cycle tracks provide a physical barrier between the bike lane and motor vehicle traffic, creating a safer cycling zone. These cycle tracks will instill confidence in riders, yet everyone on the road is still required to obey all traffic laws. Cyclists should still ride responsibly and exercise caution when riding in the protected lanes. For motorists, this means that the roads you've been driving on may be changing. Be on the lookout for new parking, driveway, and intersection changes. For residents and tenants on these changing roads, be aware that mail, trash, and parking locations may move as well. Fresno is excited to provide diverse transportation options to our residents. Sharing the road is easy. Learn more at fresno.gov/BPAC.
What if I told you there was one word commonly used to dehumanize Native American women, and that Webster's dictionary defines this word as offensive and outdated? What if I told you an entire town was named after this word? That word is squaw. My name is Roman Raintree, and I'm a member of the Dunlap Band of Mono Indians and Choinumni people. My mother, Gina Charlie, is my inspiration for working to rename our community. When we use language that degrades and dehumanizes people, it sends the message that their lives are not worth protecting. According to the National Congress of American Indian Policy Research Center, nearly half of Native American women report having experienced sexual violence, and over 1/3 will be raped in their lifetimes. In California, cases of missing and murdered indigenous women are among the highest in the nation. Our towns and landmarks should be named after things and people we honor and celebrate. The routine use of an offensive slur is contrary to our shared values. Please join us and amplify our call to respect our community and end the use of this derogatory term for geographic naming. To learn more, visit the website below. Thank you.
One of the key goals of the project, Clean Shared Mobility Network, is to try and provide benefits to disadvantaged communities. In Fresno, that's Southwest, so that's our project area. We have a network of charging stations that we're installing throughout the disadvantaged communities. To date, so far, most of them have gone into Fresno Housing Authority sites, and we still are evaluating other sites, and we're getting recommendations and suggestions on where to site future charging stations. There's the car sharing. That program, it allows people, it's based on an app, and it allows people to basically rent a car for short periods of time. And those are typically people that don't even have a car. They're all electric, so that helps with the environment. The bike sharing works in a similar fashion where you have an app and you can rent the bikes. The battery here is swappable. It allows us to station the bikes anywhere. The bike, as well as all of the equipment, is GPS and geocoded, so we know where the bikes are at. We're going to stagger the deployment. We're not putting all 200 bikes out at once, especially in the beginning. Then we have an electric medical van that are ADA compliant, and so they can transport to medical facilities. It's a 5-year project. The step that we're at now is deploying the vehicles. We plan on doing that this fall. So once we've deployed the vehicles, then we go through a process of dynamic review. So we'll see where they're being used and not used so that we can relocate the vehicles where they're most efficient. What's really unique is how we've combined car sharing, bike sharing, van pool, all into one program. That's pretty much what's unique about our project.
Why did the chicken cross the road? I don't know either, but now they can cross in any direction at pedestrian scrambles. Pedestrian scrambles are intersections that allow pedestrians to cross in every direction, including diagonally. These intersections make this possible by having an exclusive pedestrian phase in the traffic lights. To use a scramble as a pedestrian, press the walk button when you arrive at an intersection and wait for the current green light cycle to complete. When the walk signal lights up, cross in any direction of the intersection. Drivers and cyclists should continue to focus on traffic signals and only proceed when the traffic lights are green. Sharing the road is easy. Learn more at fresno.gov/BPAC.
Hey there, I'm Mark Jackson.
And I'm BJ Yavistu.
And we're from the Pie Shop. No, not that kind of pie. A product incubator.
Whether you are a fledgling inventor or an existing company, the Pie Shop can help you incubate your business.
Tired of tinkering in your garage on your idea?
Make the Pie Shop your shop.
We offer mentorship, workshops, events, services, and dedicated and shared office spaces.
We have 8,000 square feet of shop space filled with 3D printers and other tools to help you develop your prototype.
And our partner, Blue Dolphin Engineering, a company that has 20 years of experience in prototypes and inventions, is right next door.
A nonprofit, we're located in downtown Fresno at 1755 Broadway Street at the Peerless Building.
The Pie Shop is open during normal business hours.
For more information, visit us at thepieshop.org.
Or give us a call at 559-481-5004.
What I love about CMAC is that they provide me with the knowledge,
the equipment,
the space,
to express myself,
to amplify my voice,
to share my story.
My story.
My story. Go to cmac.tv/mystory to learn more.
In Southwest Fresno, it's just been this barren land forever. And trees are a representation that not only life is becoming involved into that particular area, but that there's a sense of care for people in that area. Now, the object itself may be small as a tree or as a small seed, but the symbolism of what it is, it's huge, because if you water that seed and if you water that tree, it grows into something that's huge.
All total, this project planted over 405 trees in Southwest Fresno, and it's just really made a lot of improvement in the area. This was part of the Southwest Urban Expansion Project as part of the TCC grant. You know, it was just specifically identified for this region that's underserved, some of the poorest air quality in the area. It really benefits the residents here, but it also benefits the businesses in the area. It benefits the air quality. So it's really a regional benefit, more so than just right here on this particular street. We're reconstructing the irrigation to modern irrigation systems that are drought tolerant. We're making sure that we're planting the correct tree in the correct place and the trees that are going to thrive in this environment.
All right, we're going to put a little dirt in.
It may seem small to others, but it's huge because of what it represents. It represents new beginning, a new beginning that one day will become a life change for so many people, especially in an area that's disenfranchised. There's transformation that's happening, and it's happening because of projects like this. So we're grateful for it. We can't wait to finally have some Kool-Aid under the shade.
You may have noticed new traffic signals on the road. These are pedestrian-activated signals, or HAWKs. These signals make it safer for pedestrians to cross busy streets. How are HAWKs different from conventional traffic signals? These are found in locations where children are likely to cross the street. Unlike green, yellow, red signals, the HAWK is only operational when activated by a pedestrian. When the lights are off, drivers may proceed with caution. When activated, the yellow light will flash, warning drivers to slow down. Then, the yellow light will turn solid, telling drivers to prepare to stop. The two solid red lights will tell drivers to stop completely for the pedestrians. Then the red lights will flash to let drivers know they can proceed with caution. The signal will then go dark until activated by the next pedestrian. When the walk symbol lights up and it is safe to do so, pedestrians can cross. Always look both ways before crossing. Sharing the road is easy. Learn more at fresno.gov/BPAC.
Hi everybody, this is Seta.
And that's T, and we're Pedal Junkies.
And we're here to tell you all about Fresno County Bicycle Coalition.
The Fresno County Bicycle Coalition is an organization that promotes safe bicycling for everyday transportation and recreation in Fresno County. We do this by providing community events that promote safe cycling. We offer smart cycling classes, community rides, and bicycle advocacy all over the county of Fresno.
Want to know more about Fresno County Bicycle Coalition? Go to fresnobike.org and check it all out. See you in traffic.
You are what you litter. Coffee cups, cigarette butts, food wrappers, soda cans. Litterheads are a major problem. But we all have a choice. Don't be a litterhead. One vision, one mission, one Fresno.
Together, we can beautify Fresno. Find out how at beautifyfresno.org.
What I love about CMAC is that they provide me with the knowledge,
the equipment, the space to express myself,
to amplify my voice,
to share my story. My story.
My story. Go to cmac.tv/mystory to learn more.
A community garden, it brings so much more than we even envisioned that it would bring. This is Yosemite Village Community Garden and Urban Farm Incubator Program. This front part of the garden is the community garden. So there are spaces that community members can come out and check out for them to grow food for their own families. If they need coaching or they need help on what to plant in season or get access to seeds, we also help them do that. The other half of the property in the back, we have a farm incubator program where we work with farmers to give them a ½ acre of land so that they can start developing their own business plans. They can start farming and getting used to like farming at a little bit larger scale. Our farmer Miguel has been working in farm work labor for over 10 years and he had not had the opportunity to start his own business or to get the opportunity to manage his own operation. But he really has a passion for agriculture, and so that this is what he hopes to be doing full time.
You guys want to go for a walk?
We also go into the classrooms and teach in the classrooms and then also bring kids from schools to the garden to learn here. We have volunteer days every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. So if someone wants to start gardening and they don't feel like they know how to do it or they're not comfortable with getting a garden space yet, but they want to learn, they can always come and join us during those times. Or if you're a future farmer looking for some space and some training and guidance, we have that program here too.
You may have noticed new symbols on the road. These are sharrows, or shared lane markings. They can be found in the through travel lane or the right turn lane. But what do they mean? Sharrows indicate a shared lane environment for bicycles and cars where a bike lane is not possible. For drivers, this means to be on the lookout for cyclists in the lane and to only pass cyclists in a safe manner for everyone on the road. For cyclists, this means you are allowed to ride in the full lane and should avoid the door zone of parked cars. For sharrows in the right turn lane, cyclists are allowed to continue straight through the intersection. Sharing the road is easy. Learn more at fresno.gov/BPAC.
We are the California Teaching Fellows Foundation, and we want next generation leaders like you to help us positively impact the lives of 40,000 K-12 youth. We hire and train over 2,000 college students to run high-quality morning and after-school programs, all while getting paid. As a teaching fellow, you will be a coach, a teacher, and a positive role model. College students, you don't want to miss this. Apply online and join Teaching Fellows today.
Today, nearly 1 million people in the United States are living with Parkinson's disease. My husband Mel is one of those people. I'm Patty, his wife and care partner. Early signs of Parkinson's can be subtle: a tremor in your hand, stiffness in your body, short shuffling steps when you walk. Know the signs and how to spot them in yourself or someone you love, and know what to do next. Early diagnosis and expert care can help manage symptoms and improve the quality of life for a person with Parkinson's. The Parkinson's Foundation is here for you. Learn more about the early signs and discover the free resources available for people with Parkinson's and those who love them at parkinson.org. Find answers and join us in the fight against Parkinson's.
Live production is different because you don't have that leniency of saying, oh, we'll just go back and edit it. What you see is what the audience is going to see.
It's hard at first because you don't really know what to do, but it's definitely easy to catch on. I mean, you learn pretty quickly. I mean, the people around here are very helpful. It's a team effort, so everyone kind of learns a little bit of everything just from watching and doing.
When I show through live CMAC production.
Welcome back to Sunnyside Stadium as we are just moments away from the start of the second half here as the Sunnyside Wildcats on that dramatic drive finished it off with no time left on the clock to go up 24-7 just as Madera South appeared that they were going to pull to within a point or two. So Fred, the huge momentum swing. Let's see how these coaches deal with that in the locker room.
Yeah, it is just devastating to have something like that happen, to look like you're right in the game, and now you're 3 scores down. And there were a couple of lapses, very poor tackling on that last play as time expired. They bring the man down. You know, it's over. It's still 16-7, and it's real difficult to get your team, especially when you have youngsters like this, back after something devastating like that happens. You just have to try and put it behind you, one play at a time, do the best you can, never quit, and easier said than done.
Down on the field, the Madera South Stallions about to kick it off. And going to give Fred a migraine. A short pooch kick fielded at the 42-yard line, out of bounds at about the 44. So pretty good field position to start for the Sunnyside Wildcats. And from what we saw them at the end of the first half, yeah, that's something you don't want to give them.
Yeah, they went 92 yards in less than a minute. And, we know my opinions about pooch kicks, and you give them the ball near midfield, and that's never a good thing.
Jonathan Diaz, the quarterback, orchestrated that great drive and has played well. He's going to roll to his right, looking for a receiver. As we saw in the first half, that ability to tuck it up and run, and he's got clear room up the sideline before he is pushed out of bounds. And that was Michael Chavis, who alertly pushed him out, but not after a huge gain.
And those arm tackles aren't going to cut it. You have to hit him or get him low. And he has a lot to do with that. He's a shifty runner. He follows his blocks. He finds his holes.
Only place an arm tackle works is the ankles.
Mm-hmm.
And all too often you see players try to tackle a runner high, and that allows the legs to keep on churning.
Yep.
Nobody touching this back until he gets down to the 18-yard line and is wrapped up by the ankles.
And Clovis did a good job. He got a hold of that ankle and just held on enough till he got a little bit more help.
Bob Davis actually lost a shoe courtesy of Mr. Cuevas. But the Wildcats have come right out and taken it down to the 15-yard line. 1st and 10, Sunnyside from the 15. Give going to the back, and he is going to run it into the end zone for a touchdown. So just like that, Sunnyside comes right out and scores, and they push that lead up to 30-7.
And they go 55 yards in, 50 seconds.
And you can launch into the explanation of the flaws of the pooch kick at any time.
Well, without the pooch kick, the way they're moving the ball right now, it may have taken them 3 more plays to score.
As they do, Sunnyside is going to go for the two-point conversion. And into the end zone, relatively unscathed. And what a night Jonathan Diaz is having. 32-7 our score now, 11-11 the reading of the clock on the scoreboard on the west side of the stadium here. It's homecoming. A lot of festivities taking place at halftime. Terrific performance by the Sunnyside High Band. The cheer squads, the dancers, all putting on quite a show. For a big crowd of Sunnyside High School students and parents.
Yeah, it's all full on our side of the field here. And that was a real festive homecoming. The young people here were really getting into it. So we had a couple of football players that were the, I think, sophomore and junior royalty.
What are you hearing from other stadiums around thus far, Fred?
McLean's having no trouble whatsoever with Fresno High, which was expected as 42-0 in the fourth quarter. I think that could have been a heck of a lot worse. I'll hit on my scoreboard here in a second and get things up to date.
You were mentioning Alpaugh having a big year this year.
Yeah, the Alpaugh Buffaloes.
Are there Buffaloes in Alpaugh?
There's, I think, an 8-man team of Buffaloes.
They're buffaloing a lot of people this year.
They certainly are. 5-0. I think it's the best start they've ever had.
Deep kickoff. Going to be fielded at the 10-yard line. Patiently cruising, looking for a hole. Doesn't get it before the tackler gets to him at the 19. So Madera South will begin their first possession of the second half from the 20-yard line.
Yeah, the Alpaugh Buffaloes went to Mojave, which I don't really encourage anybody to do, and came away with a 26-6 win to make the Buffaloes 5-0.
And you can say that about Mojave as the father of a daughter who lives out in the desert area. Am I correct?
Well, sometimes we do stop there for gas, but lives in the garden spot of Lancaster. Buchanan having no trouble with Paso Robles, 42-6 at the half. McLean now, that's went final, 42-0 against Fresno High. We had two teams that went in 2-2. Farmersville went to Strathmore. Strathmore leads 50-8 in the third quarter. Rossi continues their hot streak. They lead Lindsay 13-0. Roosevelt is defeating Torres 26-7 up in Madera. And the Rough Riders look to go 5-0.
Parra with a shovel pass, but it's going to wind up going for a loss. And it'll bring up a third down at about 15. And they're going to give him a little forward progress up at about the 18, which is where the play began. Scoreboard still showing first down, but this is coming up third down at about 12.
No, would have been advised probably just to let that one fall incomplete. Thought he could make something happen. Wasco, who is undefeated, are trailing a strong Tulare Western team, once beaten 20-7 at the half. That's in Wasco.
Third down and 11 for the Stallions. Up the middle. The give going to Hamilton, and he's going to get it up to about maybe the 22-yard line, possibly the 23, but wherever they spot it, it's going to be way, way short of the first down line.
And we're going to see the Stallions punt, which could be something of an adventure.
Well, especially if it's the quarterback, because you wonder, will he punt it away? Or will he look to see if the Wildcats drop back in punt coverage and take advantage to possibly pull off a fake? You don't see it very often.
9 men close. Managed to get it off. Not a long punt.
Fielded at the 45. And he's going to get up a big, big gain as he just runs right through a half dozen defenders.
Yeah, three guys looked like they had a shot at him, and he just blew right past all three of them. And this is a little bit of a surprise here, Dan. Liberty, who's still ranked number 8 despite not having a win. All of their losses have been against strong teams. They lead Independence 3-0 at the half. Independence, Paul Galla's team, and I believe they're unbeaten at this stage now, or maybe they're 4-1. A little bit of a surprise.
Sunnyside 1st and 10 from the 16-yard line, or the 26-yard line. Rolling to his left, little sidearm toss, incomplete.
That's the first play that the Wildcats have that hasn't gained yardage since that drive into the first half. Interesting game here. Bakersfield Christian is leading the undefeated, I think it's the Tribe in Tulare, 23-7 in the third quarter. A bit of a surprise.
Quarterback with a keeper, now wings it out to his wideout, who spins away, but is held up. And we've got a penalty flag.
Wildcats look like they're walking backwards. I don't know. The area where it was thrown would have indicated maybe a personal foul. I thought it initially could have been a face mask.
Having a bit of conversation about this. The Madera South players pointing in the direction of the Sunnyside team, indicating that they believe the penalty is going to be marched backwards.
And it's a long discussion, too.
Here goes the revelation.
Fouls on the play, both against the offense. We have holding on the offense. That penalty is 10 yards from the end of the run. Then after the foul, we got dead ball, personal foul, offense. Both penalties are enforced. The down counts. Third down.
It's going to be a 25-yard penalty now. Holding and then unsportsmanlike conduct.
And likely a bit of unhappiness among the coaches on the Sunnyside sideline over that turn of events. But this may just allow them to open up the playbook a little bit more. A lot more field position to play with.
2nd and 27, that's doable.
Here's looks for a receiver. Now he's going to go deep. He's got a man running in the end zone. It's intercepted. Grabbed and pulled down from behind at about the 7 or 8 yard line, and we've got a flag thrown back at the 20-yard line. And some shoving going on between a Sunnyside and a Madera South player.
Oh, was that a dead ball foul? Did you see when the flag was thrown?
It was after the play, yes.
Okay.
So the pass was just hung up a little bit too long. Gave the defender the ability to get under it, make the interception, and bring it out.
Probably should have taken a touchback on that.
Penalty is going to be holding, charged against Madera South. Adding to your thought there that probably would have been smart to just down it in the end zone and bring it out to the 20.
Well, at least half the distance was not too far.
So first down for the Madera South Stallions. Ball at about the 5-yard line on the half the distance. There's that toss sweep that has not worked much at all, but it's picking up some yards right here across the 10 to about the 12, 13-yard line.
Yeah, that's what they were looking for there at the end of the half.
Cameron Hamilton, the running back. And they're going to say 2nd down and 1. Ball's out on the ground, fumbled. And recovered by Sunnyside, it appears, at about the 20. And we've got a couple of players. We've got an assistant coach making contact with one of the Madera South players.
Yeah, that is definitely not acceptable.
I would agree.
Stallions' third turnover of the night. And you never have a turnover in an opportune spot.
So the fumble turns it over to the Sunnyside Wildcats. Ball's going to be placed at the 23-yard line. Wildcats on top 32-7 here at Sunnyside Stadium. 7:21 remaining in the third quarter. Diaz barking out the signals. He's going to throw it. That is Monish fighting for yards.
Yeah, when we saw that, it did appear that one of Sunnyside's coaches went and initiated contact, and I hope we have the film of that, because that's just absolutely unacceptable.
A little surprised none of the officials noticed that or said anything about that.
I don't think they noticed it.
Yeah, the two players were doing a little bit of wrestling.
Yeah.
Out in the out-of-bounds area.
Yeah, that's when you grab one of your own players.
Exactly, exactly. Wildcats move it down inside the 10-yard line. So once again, they have little trouble chewing up yardage.
Yeah, they're just running downhill right now.
Well, the only difficulty they've had at all have been their own penalties.
Oh, yeah.
It was right up the middle into the end zone. Touchdown, one more for Sunnyside High. They will run their lead now to 38-7.
Now is where I'd start kicking extra points.
So Sunnyside High punching it in once again, making it a 38-7 game here with 6:14 remaining in the third quarter. Oh, how big that fumble was. Down at the 2-yard line just before the half for the Madera South Stallions.
See Sunnyside's kicking game here. Whistle blew before the ball was snapped.
The snap, encroachment on the defense. That penalty is half the distance. One on time down.
Both these teams came in 1-3. Both having had struggles on the defensive side of the ball, and Madera South maybe a little bit more with special teams. The one game they were really walloped by their arch rivals, Madera High School. They had huge breakdowns on special teams.
Yeah, and that all three of the Stallions' losses have all been in excess of 50 points.
And the kick is good, so it's a 39-7 game now. Sunnyside up by 32.
And both teams are slowly trudging off the field here, which is something else that I'm not too down with. But that's the way it is.
So the Wildcats making for a very successful homecoming night. In front of a big crowd of Sunnyside students, parents. Not to mention a large number of cheerleaders down on the track in front of this north stand.
Yeah, Sunnyside's crowds last week they hosted McLean here, and it was, what do they call the night for all the feeder programs. So you had all the elementary schools and a couple of middle schools. You had a lot of people here last week. And McLean had a decent crowd here last week. Also, their band came to an away game, and they were still whooping it up 10 minutes after the game was over.
The band can make for a great night And the band here was, they go with a short kick once again.
Which gives the Stallions good field position, about the 38-yard line.
39-7 our score. Madera South will begin this possession from their own 38-yard line. Best starting point they have had here in the second half.
Line still firing out of the huddle. I like to see that.
Parra going to put it up in the air. Hits his man in and out of the hands. And incomplete.
Had him in stride. That was going to go for a big gain. He pulls that down.
Adam Sandez. The drops have plagued them tonight.
Looks like we have a cramp out on the field.
Indeed we do. Good chance to talk once again about Pickle Brine.
Sure is. One of the other scores I saw, Mendota always starts pretty slow, and they had gotten really hammered by Liberty and McLean the second and third game of the season. They went down to McFarland, and McFarland was 4-1, and Mendota is up 56-3 in the third quarter on that. And this seems to happen with the Aztecs every year. They just seem to be getting a little bit stronger, and they'll start out and be below 500 and then make a deep run into the playoffs. That's a good program they've had going there since Beto Mejia has taken over.
He's done a good job, no question.
Let's see what else we see here. Looks like Don Arax is going to win his first game this season at Central Valley Christian. They have a 35-0 lead over, looks like Mission Prep. Surprisingly, Mount Whitney's leading Reedley 8-6 early in the third quarter.
The Stallions attempt an out pass, and it is deflected and whistles incomplete and out of bounds.
We have a lot of schools that have buys this week, too.
Yes, we do.
Before getting into league next week. Clovis North has a 20-6 lead over Frontier. I think that one's at Clovis High tonight. Yeah, Bullard, Clovis, Clovis West, I think all have buys.
Third down 10 for the Stallions. Parra moving the pocket, has a man open, and he overthrows him.
And that's what you don't like when you're down. You go 3 and out and take 20 seconds off the clock.
So 4th and 10. And it appears they are keeping the offense out on the field. No. Now the punt unit comes on.
And when the punt unit's your quarterback, the way Sunnyside's moving the ball right now, if you have any plays, this might be the time.
They're trying to get the PA to stop the music. Can't play amplified noise to impact the signals being called on the field. Fielded up at the 25.
Good coverage. They had some good coverage there, and they weren't arm tackling. They were holding on. Nice high punt.
39-7 our score as Sunnyside High takes possession again with 5:45 remaining in the third quarter. And they will start this drive from their own 25-yard line. They have had a little trouble this second half, marching right through the Stallions defense. They've put 2 touchdowns up on the board, getting things started. And they have kept Madera South off the board. Run picks up about 5.
Stallions getting a last-minute substitution in.
Sending a player off.
College baller of the NFL, who would have picked up on that real quick.
2nd down and 5. Toss, receivers open. Oh, leaping catch. Terrific grab up at the 45-yard line.
Oh.
Very nice leaping grab.
Well, that was Dominguez. Yeah, he got some elevation on that 5'8" height of his.
He sure did. Looked like the ball was going to be overthrown, but Dominguez, as you'll see here on the replay, did a nice job going up and hauling it in. Big first down now for the Wildcats. Ball placed at their own 46-yard line. Quarterback keeper across the 50, and he's going to go all the way. Nobody is going to touch him. 10, 5, and a touchdown.
He had 2 blocks there that just blew the hole open.
Big, big touchdown run. Jonathan Diaz on the tremendous run off the keeper. And it's now 45-7 with 4:45 remaining in the third quarter.
Yeah, there was nobody there.
Indeed, that offensive line has been doing an outstanding job all night long. Wildcats missing a man on their...
Hope he's not the snapper.
No, their players on the field are indicating they're fine, and they send him back to the bench. They're going for just one now. Kick hits the upright, but we have a penalty. Let's hear what the official has to tell us.
To the snap, we had a false start. Offense, 5-yard penalty. Replay the try.
Prior to the snap, it was blown dead. I have a question for you pertaining to kicking after this.
Extra point good. And that pushes the Sunnyside lead now to 39 at 46-7. Okay, your question on kicking.
Okay, in the NFL, in the years of yore, 45, 50-yard field goal, that was quite an accomplishment.
Absolutely.
Now you're expected to make it.
Yeah.
50, and we've seen kicks just in the last 2 years. That guy that kicks for the Cowboys and the Lions, those guys, it's like they can't miss. Would you be in favor of narrowing the goalpost yet again in the NFL?
Interesting idea. Very interesting idea.
I understand the new NFL kickoffs. I don't like it, but I understand why they do it, and I can deal with that. But I would like I'd like the field goal maybe to mean a little bit more.
Sure. It's an interesting thought. Yeah, why not?
Because some of those, I mean, you still have your doinks occasionally.
But not as often as you used to.
Yeah, some of these guys, it's just, 55 yards, and it's right down the middle. And they're making it by 10 or 12 yards.
Right. They're putting in a lot more work in the weight room than ever before and training in a lot of different ways. Ball's kicked around and on the ground, trying to make something out of nothing and brought down at the 33-yard line.
And that's the thing about the pooch kicks. Every now and then you'll get confused, especially in a game like this when it's starting to get out of hand and frustration starts going in and you lose your razor concentration that you have to have.
coaching staff of the Madera South sideline trying to keep things positive. As they said going in, we just want to see progress.
Yeah.
Week to week, we just want to see progress. And we know they indicated they knew this had the potential to be a tough season. But as teachers, their goal was to teach and try to create a good experience for these young men and see progress throughout the season.
And you can go, I just saw
there's that toss sweep play again. It looks like it's going to pick up 5.
I saw the Stallions center, made a good hit, and how these guys are coming out, because when you're looking, I say film study, it's not film anymore, but when you're looking at this and you can look at one play over and over again, and you can see individual progress and you can really see effort. As when I'm watching games like this as a spectator instead of a commentator, I'll key in on certain players for 4 or 5 plays at a time to see what's going on.
Quarterback keeper right up the middle, and I believe he's going to get the first down. He's very close.
Yeah, where they marked it looks like first down yardage. That was a good play. Parr did a really good job bringing that ball back.
Officials telling the crew working the markers, the chain gang as they like to call them, to go on ahead and move up, that it is indeed a first down.
What a thankless job that is. Any of the parents in the sidelines, when they look at the athletic director looking for some guys going to the chain gang, that's your time to hide.
Quick out pass. Breaks the tackle, breaks 2, and he's got a first down and up near the 40-yard line.
Good acceleration after catching the ball on that.
Into Sunnyside Wildcat territory. Pickup of about 13 yards.
At the first half, the Stallions were in Sunnyside territory often. And this is their first foray there this half.
First and 10, ball at the 43. Are going to keep it, trying to get around the left side, the right side, but no, they have got that thing stopped in its tracks.
Yeah, they knew that was coming. He had a greeting party of 5 or 6 for him. There's nowhere to go.
Loss of 4 on the play. It's 2nd and 14 now. Quick shot complete. Pickup of about 6. Nice throw. Parra has a very quick release.
Yeah, Parra was just pretty much lassoed into this job. He hasn't had a lot of quarterback experience. In games like this, he's going to learn a lot. Just a junior.
4th and 4. A 3rd and 4. Parra dinks it out. They've got the first down, and then some. He may have a touchdown. He gets away and into the end zone. Touchdown, Madera South.
That was a nice pass. Kind of like he shot putted it to him.
Indeed. Parra with a very nice little shot put of a throw, as you see. He hits Hamilton, and Hamilton breaks a couple of tackles there and gets in the free and outruns the defenders, those linebackers, all the way into the end zone.
And he just pushed a couple of guys out of the way and got that head of steam going.
46-13 our score. Extra point is good. 46-14 our score with 1:32 remaining here in the 3rd quarter from Sunnyside Stadium on homecoming night. A fireworks-filled homecoming night. Fireworks on the scoreboard and on the field as the Wildcats have taken what was a very tight game in the final few seconds of the first half, and they have turned it into a romp, 46-14.
Yeah, they had a 30-point romp there in the last minute of the half and the first 10 minutes of this half. I know it's coming, and
if you need to go to the bathroom, now might be a good time for you, Fred.
Mm-hmm.
Kick.
Did he touch
out
it?
Of bounds.
Did he touch it before it went out of bounds?
Well, they are spotting it there at the 26, 27-yard line.
Bad
so
move. Bad move for the young man. Looks like he caught it and just stepped out. There's absolutely no breeze in the stadium right now. The trees look like they're made of plastic.
The things you check out when it is a 32-point difference in the game.
I certainly do. There are so many.
Wildcats with the football here, 1st and 10. A minute and a half to go here in the third quarter of action. Ortega going around the far side. And he is close to midfield with that run. So 1st and 10 for Sunnyside. Ball at the 47-yard line. A minute remaining here in the third quarter. Give going to the back. And he is across midfield barely.
One of the Stallions was trying to tackle the football. Gave up a few extra yards on that.
Ortega, the ball carrier. Clock continues to run. About 30 seconds to go here in the quarter. Quick out pass, wide open receiver. Not even thinking of going out of bounds. Penalty flag flew on the far sideline.
I think we're going to have a hold over there.
Probably right.
Holding on the offense. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Replay, 2nd down.
Well, that's going to march them across the 50 and back into their own half of the field. Now the ball's going to be placed right at midfield, actually.
If the half ends without much of a gain, easier on the officials.
They just couldn't find a receiver. Now he does. Airs it out. Got a man wide open. Holds it in. He's going to score a touchdown. He is going to haul it as time runs out in the third quarter. The desperation toss off the scramble goes for a 50-yard touchdown.
Which will might enable us to have the running clock the fourth quarter because of that touchdown. That'll be more than a 35-point lead going into the fourth quarter.
52-14 our score. Hate belaboring the point, but to think that at the end of the half we were amazed that there was the potential for the game to be a 2-point game.
Yeah, things can change overnight. And we discussed this a little bit at the half. It's real tough with the young men of this age to overcome that type of a gut punch.
Holding up play back at the 35-yard line. We've got a Madera South player being stretched out. Look like it's because of a cramp in a calf muscle. (52-14) our score. The Sunnyside Wildcats with a huge second half here at Sunnyside Stadium on homecoming night. The band, the cheerleaders, all having a terrific time here, and a big crowd on the Sunnyside High side.
Well, it's an extra point at the end of the quarter. It probably wouldn't hurt anything just to let them kick the extra point while they're working on the cramp, but there's no way you can do that.
Blair is up and is limping off the field now. Had a look a moment ago at obviously a frustrated Matt Johnson, the head coach of the Madera South Stallions, enduring a rough night.
And then right toward the end of the half, they couldn't have had a better scenario dreamed up than what was happening. That last minute just totally changed the course of this game.
Extra point is good. So as time runs out here in the third quarter, 53-14 is our score. After a brief pause, we will pick up play in our final period of the night.
And now they can change sides. You rarely see a team score on the last play. Sunnyside's now done it twice. He scored on the last play of the half and the last play of the third quarter. There's got to be some...
in dramatic fashion in both cases.
Yeah.
Both were just huge, long touchdowns.
Yeah, they weren't a bounce over the line. There's probably... Can I use the word geek?
I don't know why you couldn't.
Okay, there's probably some geek somewhere that knows how many times that's happened in the annals of football.
It is amazing, the records that some people keep.
Yeah. I think I fall into that idiosyncrasy in a few ways too.
Wildcats kicking it off to start the fourth quarter of play here at Sunnyside Stadium, as this game has changed dramatically in the final few seconds of the first half, and now it has blown almost entirely out of control here in the third quarter as we are just seconds into the fourth quarter, which will be a quarter played with a running clock. Clock will not stop with Sunnyside up by 39 points at 53-14. Barr tucks it. He's going to keep it, and he'll get about 5.
And when you're playing with a running clock, you're not going to stop it by running out of bounds or an incomplete pass. I think the only reason they do stop it's when there's a score or an injury.
You know, you brought up earlier, and asking from a position of ignorance, you made mention of a number of schools tonight that have byes. And I wonder, so many schools started in week 0, as they call it now, playing in intense heat. And I'm kind of curious. Byes are a healthy thing to have, especially going into league play, but I wonder sometimes about starting as early as they do and leaving a bye, particularly in much better weather conditions, several weeks later.
Yeah, that's one of the other things I have a problem with, and I understand because in high school athletics, you have so many sports, and the timelines, they run into it when you're a playoff team and you have young men that might wrestle, play soccer, play basketball. You're really on a timeline, and to me, it's starting football in Central California in mid-August is madness. But I'm seldom consulted when these decisions are made.
Well, one of the big problems, as I've had administrators point out to me, is that the adoption of a state playoff system is what has caused the start of the season to be so early.
Yeah.
Because the playoffs take so many more weeks now than they used to when it was just local playoffs.
And I get that.
Of course, it's about money.
Yeah. Wow. Jeez. Dan, you just ruined everything. My fairy tale of everything nice has just been permanently eliminated.
I joked, semi-joked actually. There were a few of the Clovis schools as Madera South is going to punt it away, fielded to the 44-yard line, slips the tackle, slips two, over to the 40-yard line, and he's got plenty of room, and he is going to take it all the way in for a touchdown. So a 55-yard punt return for a touchdown, and the route is officially on as Sunnyside High tacks 6 more up on the board.
10 yards into that run, you knew he was headed to the house.
Indeed.
Right there. Once that initial man missed him, he was going nowhere. He was going all the way.
59-14 the score now. But one of the things I was semi-joking with some people because some of the Clovis schools opened this year, one, maybe two, I could be mistaken, opened with games with teams from communities over on the coast. And my thought is, maybe there's an answer. Maybe Central Valley schools ought to be playing away games the first week or two over on the coast.
Well, you don't have enough coastal teams.
Well, you're right. Well, they have hit 60.
And they've hit 60. Sunnyside's not running up the score. This is
not at all.
This is not an intentional thing. I mean, you have a punt return like that, and what's he going to do? Take a knee?
Exactly. This is not what we saw 2 years ago here, when clearly the Sunnyside coaches that were here at that time went out to intentionally run up the score. That is not taking place here tonight.
Yeah, I was out of town when that would happen, and you gave me a detailed report, and it looked like it was a real unpleasant situation all the way around. Coaches don't forget stuff like this.
A rough night and a rough season thus far for the Madera South coaching staff. A great group, terrific people, value teaching, and they are trying to make this as positive an experience for these young men as possible. Short kick fielded at the 35, looking for a block, punches it out close to the 45, and that's where the Madera South Stallions will start this fourth quarter drive. 60-14 with 5 minutes and 45 seconds remaining on the clock here at Sunnyside Stadium.
No matter what the play is called, they're going to take some time off this clock. They're still firing up to the line. Good to see that.
New quarterback in now for Madera South. Efren Garcia.
have a lot of new men in for the Wildcats on defense, getting some playing time in.
There's the toss sweep one more time. Cross midfield down to the 44-yard line.
That was Hamilton again.
Impressive game. And we have apparently an injured player. Officials calling for the training staff to come on, and they will stop the clock for that, as we have an injured Sunnyside Wildcat on the far side.
Next Thursday, Sunnyside hosts Roosevelt here. I think it might be a home game for Roosevelt.
It'll be a good game.
And that should be a good game.
So we pause the action for an injured player. He is now being helped up.
A week from tonight, the Stallions go out to Sanger to play Sanger West, which will be challenging, but it might be a winnable game for them.
Noel Romero, the injured Sunnyside player, and he is very slowly, gingerly coming off, being applauded by his teammates in the bench area. 4:32, where our clock has been stopped. 60-14 Sunnyside. We had a battle going in the first half.
Yeah, it was unexpected, but we had things going. And
Madera South was marching at the 2-yard line, a second and goal and a third down and goal, I should say, from the 2 when they fumbled the football. Oh, big hit. But a run very close to the first down marker. I think they'll give him 9. And that fumble changed everything. And at the time we were talking about, no, it is a first down. A 10-yard run gives the Stallions a first down. But here we were talking about the potential going to the locker room of having a 16-14 score, and the ball's fumbled away. Sunnyside very quickly was able to march 98 yards, or 95 yards actually, score, and the momentum never recovered whatsoever for Madera South.
Oh, it was an avalanche after that. Bit of a surprise. Wasco, who is down at home by 2 touchdowns to Tulare Western at home, has taken a lead of 33-26 in the fourth quarter. Liberty leads Independence 17-10.
Looking for a receiver, and he's hauled down to the backfield. So this is Joe Dominguez. Or correction. This is Jaden Espinoza, the backup quarterback, who has come on for Para.
A bit of surprise. Kalinga was ahead of Washington Union 6-0 at the half, and kind of like this game, Union exploded for 3 touchdowns, and they're still in the third quarter out at Kalinga 21-6. Mount Whitney continues to lead Reedley, which surprises me. 16-13 in the third quarter.
2:34 remaining in this game. 3rd and 10 for the Stallions. Give up the middle. They'll get about 3, maybe 4. And we're looking at about a 4th and 7. Bearing down on 2 minutes left in this game. 60-14. Sunnyside high in a homecoming romp past Madera South. Quick out. Complete.
Heck, if he would have cut inside, he may have had first down yardage, but he didn't.
I think he's going to be a couple yards shy.
Yeah. The Wildcats will take over.
And with 1:20 to go, I would assume just take a knee.
You could hand it to your third or fourth string tailback, too. These linemen out here want to block.
Seeing some new numbers in the backfield. Jason Taylor. Gloria Smith. 50 seconds to go. .38 seconds to go. And we have a timeout taken by Madera South. I think it's so they could get a substitution on the field. Hard to say.
I don't quite know why they would want to take out timeout at this stage of the game.
You have one play left, and you're probably at that just going to take a knee. So far, plenty of action, and this is our first telecast of the season. We will be back with you next week, next Friday night from McLean Stadium. The Highlanders, clearly the team to beat in the league this year. And, of course, you will be here on CMAC tomorrow for Fresno City College football.
That should be an outstanding game against San Mateo.
Brought down at the 34-yard line. Clock now at 20 seconds. Wildcat players looking to hurry back into the huddle to get another play off.
I don't think it's going to happen.
3 seconds, 2 seconds. And that's it. Ball game over. Sunnyside High School, big win tonight, 60-14 over the Madera South Stallions. Capping quite a night of homecoming here at Sunnyside Stadium. So Fred, what a change we saw as we saw Sunnyside High on their heels late in the first half, and how one fumble turned it all around.
Changed the whole complexion of the game. And not only did it stop Madera South's offense, it's like their defense was just soft butter after that, because Wildcats took it down. I think they had only one passing play, which took them about 40 or 50 of those 92 yards that they had. But that just totally changed the complexion of it. And this is a game that Sunnyside, they really hadn't gotten any mojo going yet this season. And getting a win like that, again, they didn't beat a power team, but they got it going, and they saw what they're capable of doing in just a short amount of time. So that could really help them, because they've got a couple of tough games coming up too, and this could prime them where they could still have an impact on who wins the NYL.
So next week we come to you from McLean Stadium. And the Highlanders, Fred, they look like they're the power of the conference.
They're going to be tough to beat. The Toros are coming in, and they're a young team, but they're going to come in with a chip, and they'll give it their best. I think we might see a decent football game.
And tomorrow afternoon, Fresno City College and College of San Mateo here on CMAC. Some great football coming at you. Kudos to the students from the Video Production Academy at Sunnyside High for their great work on cameras tonight. Great job, Jeff Stamps and your crew in the truck. Always an outstanding job. Fun being with you here on CMAC, the first of our 4 high school football telecasts. We look forward to coming at you again next week. For the coach, Fred Clark, I'm Dan Taylor. Thanks again for joining us here on CMAC, where the host Sunnyside Wildcats, big homecoming night winners, 60-14 over the Madera South Stallions. Thanks for joining us. Have a good night, everybody.
Support for this program is provided in part by Fresno Unified School District and Me and Ed's Sunnyside.